In today's lesson, we'll be looking at part 2 of the expansion and substitution of sets. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe so that when new video is being uploaded, you'll be the first person to be notified. Now let's get started. So we have example 1 here. In example 1, it says that if 3 plus 4 square root of 3 is being multiplied by 2 minus 8 square root of 3, which is equal to minus 18 plus 2 square root of 3, find the value of e. Now this simply means that we are going to expand and multiply the expansion on the left hand side so that it's going to have like terms like the expansion or the expression at the right hand side, and afterwards we can compare and get the values of a. Now if that happens, then it means we are going to have our solution as 3 plus 4 square root of 3 being multiplied by 2 minus a square root of 3, which is equal to minus 18 plus 2 square root of 3. Now if that continues, we are just going to multiply the expression at the left hand side, maintaining that or at the right hand side. So it means we have 3 is going to multiply 2 minus a square root of 3, and then my 4 square root of 3 is going to multiply 2 minus a square root of 3. So plus 4 square root of 3 multiplied by 2 minus a square root of 3. Now they are going to be equal to minus 18 plus 2 square root of 3. Now at this point, we can see that 3 multiplies 2, we have 6. 3 multiplies minus a square root of 3, we are going to get minus 3a square root of 3, plus 4 square root of 3 multiplies 2. It means that 4 is going to multiply 2, and we have 8 square root of 3. So we have 8 square root of 3 minus 4 square root of 3 multiplies minus a square root of 3. Then means we're going to get 4a and then square root of 9, which is equal to minus 18 plus 2 square root of 3. Now this continues, and we can see that there is like sets here, which means we can add the coefficient. It means we have 6 and we can add them as minus 3a plus 8 all square root of 3. We are adding them because they have the same irrational component. So we add the rational part, minus 3 and 8, minus 4a, and we know square root of 9 to be the same thing as 3. So we have 3 here, which is equal to minus 18 plus 2 square root of 3. Now we continue, and we can see that we can multiply 4 and 3. So before that, we have to write our 6 plus, we can have here as minus 3a plus 8 square root of 3, which is equal, so minus, now 4 times 3 gives us 12. So we have 12a, which is equal to minus 18 plus 2 square root of 3. Now at this point, we have to group like terms. We can see that when we look at the right hand side of the equation, we have the rational component coming first, that is minus 18, before the irrational component, that is 2 square root of 3. It means we have to rearrange the left hand side to be as the right hand side. So it means that our minus 3a plus 8 square root of 3 is going to be at the last, and 6 minus 12a comes first. So we have 6 minus 12a comes first, and then we have plus minus 3a plus 8 square root of 3 also follows. Now we have minus 18 plus 2 square root of 3. Now we can compare and find the value of a. So we can see that by comparing, then can write here as by comparing, then we can see that 6 minus 12a is equal to minus 18. And in finding for the value of a, we make a the subject. So that is minus 12a is equal to minus 18. And then we have minus 6 here, which means we're going to have minus 12a to be equal to minus 24. Now, dividing both sides of the equation by the coefficient of a, then we are going to get here as divided by minus 12 divided by minus 12. Now at this point, we can see that this 12a, sorry, this 12 minus 12 is going to cancel that minus 12, and then you can see that 12 goes into itself 1 and goes into 24 2 times. So at the end, our a here is equal to positive 2. That is how you can find the value of a. Now someone can also take the other part. Remember, we took 6 minus 12a and minus 18. Someone can also take the other part, that is minus 3a plus 8. Then we have our square root of 3 here, which is equal to 2 square root of 3. And we can also use this same to get the same value of a. Now if you want to find the value of a, then we can divide here by square root of 3, also divide here by square root of 3. Now this square root of 3 can take this off, and then this square root of 3 can also take that off, which means we are left with minus 3a plus 8, which is equal to 2. Now we find the value of a, then means we have to make a the subject. So that is minus 3a is equal to 2. Now this 8 joins 2, so it becomes minus 8 here. And at the end, we have minus 3a to be equal to minus 6. Now dividing both sides of the equation by the coefficient of a, then we should have minus 3, and then minus 3 here. So at the end, this minus 3 is going to cancel that minus 3, and we can see that this minus is going to cancel that minus. 3 goes into itself 1 and goes into 6 2. So at the end, you have a to be equal to 2. So in any of them that you take, you can get the same value of a. So therefore, we can say that our value of a now is equal to 2. So in exams, you don't have to write the two processes. You can choose, you can stick to one and find the value of a. But we wanted you to know that at the end, if you take any of them, you are going to get the same value for a. Now let's try the next example. In example 2, it says that given that 3 plus 4 square root of 5 is being multiplied by minus 2x square root of 5, which is equal to 2 square root of 5 minus 34, find the value of a. And before we continue, if you have not subscribed to BakoMaths, kindly spend a moment and hit on the subscription button. So we continue, and we have our solution as, all right. So we have our solution as 3 plus 4 square root of 5 being multiplied by 2 minus x square root of 5, which is equal to 2 square root of 5 minus 34. Now with this, we first have to expand this expression on the right hand side so that it looks like the one at the right hand side, and then we compare. So in expanding the expansion, or in expanding the expression at the left hand side, we have 3. Now 3 multiplies 2 minus x square root of 5, and we have 4 square root of 5 also multiplying 2 minus x square root of 5, which is equal to 2 square root of 5 minus 34. Now we continue the expansion, and 3 multiplies 2, we have 6. 3 multiplies x square root of 5, then we have minus 3 x square root of 5. And then we have here as plus 4 square root of 5 multiplies 2, then we're going to get 8 square root of 5. Minus, now 4 square root of 5 multiplies x square root of 5, we're going to have 4x square root of 25, which is equal to 2 square root of 5 minus 34. Now with this, we can add the surd here, and we can see minus 3x square root of 5 plus 8 square root of 5 can be added because they are like sets, which means 6. We're going to have plus minus 3x plus 8 all square root of 5 minus 4x, and we know square root of 25 gives an answer of 5. And then we continue, which is equal to 2 square root of 5 minus 34. Now at this point, we can break our equation down, and we have 6 plus minus 3x plus 8 square root of 5, and 4 multiplies 5, you have 20x, which is equal to 2 square root of 5 minus 34. Now with this, we can rearrange our expression on the left hand side so that it becomes like that of the right hand side. Then we can compare and find the value of x. Now we can see on the right hand side that 2 square root of 5 comes first before the 34, which means the irrational component comes first before the rational component. In the same, we have to do that for the left hand side, which means we are going to have minus 3x plus 8 all square root of 5 before plus 6 minus 20x comes, which is equal to 2 square root of 5 minus 34. Now by comparing, you can write here as by comparing. Then by comparing, you can see that minus 3x plus 8 square root of 5 is equal to 2 square root of 5. Now you find the value of x, then we are going to divide both sides of the equation by the coefficient of x. First, by dividing both sides of the equation by square root of 5, and that will help us to get the value of x so easily. So divide here by square root of 5, so that this 5 or this square root of 5 can cancel that, and this one too can cancel that. So it means you have minus 3x plus 8, which is equal to 2. Now you find the value of x, you have to make as the subject, so you have 3x is equal to 2 minus 8, which means minus 3x is equal to minus 6. At this point, divide here by minus 3, and also divide here by minus 3. So our value for x now becomes positive 2. In the same way, we can find the value of x by considering 6 minus 20x and minus 34. So it means that we can use 6 minus 20x, which is equal to minus 34. These two ways can help us get the value of x easily. Now we have minus 20x to be equal to minus 34, and we have minus 6 here. So it means you have minus 20x to be equal to minus 40, which means our minus 20x is equal to minus 40 by dividing here by minus 20, dividing here by minus 20. So it means our x value now becomes, this 0 cancel that 0, and minus cancel minus. So 2 goes into itself, 1 goes into 4 2 times. So our x here is equal to 2. Now this explains to us that in any of the procedures that you use, your x value is going to be the same thing. So stick to one and find the value of x. But we are trying to let you know that any of them works. So therefore, we can see that x is equal to 2. And that becomes the value of x. Now, this is a different format. So let's go to the next type of questions under expansion and substitution of sets. In example 3, it says that if x is equal to 2 plus 3 square root of 2 and y is equal to minus 1 plus 5 square root of 2, find the value of x squared minus y squared. Now we can also see that x squared minus y squared is a difference of two squares. And when we expand x plus y multiplied by x minus y, we are going to get back x squared minus y squared. So having known that this is a difference of two squares, then we have to inculcate in our solutions. So solution, we know that x squared minus y squared is a difference of two squares, which means originally, before we get x squared minus y squared, then it's coming from x plus y and x minus y. So this is where we are getting the x squared minus y squared from. Now having known this, without doing direct substitution to x squared minus y squared, we can break it down to this and then do the substitution here, because that is the easiest step we can use in order to get the value of x squared minus y squared. Now doing that quick substitution then means that our x squared minus y squared is equal to Now x we know here to be 2 plus 3 square root of 2. So we have 2 plus 3 square root of 2. We put that in brackets, and plus our y here is minus 1 plus 5 square root of 2. So minus 1 plus 5 square root of 2. And then we also put that in brackets. Now I think I can write it well. Alright, put that nicely in this brackets, and then we close it. But it's been multiplied by x minus y, so which means we should get x minus y. Now our x here is 2 plus 3 square root of 2, so we have 2 plus 3 square root of 2. We put this in brackets, and then we have minus y. So our minus y we know to be minus 1 plus 5 square root of 2, which means there should be minus here. Alright, so it means we have minus and then minus 1 plus 5 square root of 2. At this point we are doing substitution, then later we expand. Now having substituted, then we can expand. So it means that we have 2 plus 3 square root of 2 maintained. So you have 2 plus 3 square root of 2 maintained, and when plus adds minus, we are going to get minus, so we have minus 1 here, and plus and then plus, we are going to get plus, so it means we have plus 5 square root of 2. Now we have that, and at this point too, we have 2 plus 3 square root of 2, so 2 plus 3 square root of 2, and we can see minus minus. When minus minus multiplies, definitely we are going to get positive, so we have plus 1, and minus and plus, when they multiply, we are going to get minus, so that is minus 5 square root of 2. So you also close that. Now what you have to know here is that when dealing with minus and plus instead, you have to be very careful so that we don't get them mismatched or not writing the correct ones. So that is what we should note. Now we continue, and in expanding this, we can see that we can see like sets here, so we can group like terms. So we have 2 and then minus 1, and then we have plus 3 square root of 2 here, and then we have plus 5 square root of 2 nicely here. So we put that one in a bracket and we focus on the next one, and we can see 2 and 1, so which means you can group them. And then the next one we have plus 3 square root of 2, and then we have minus 5 square root of 2. We have that. Now we can also break it down and see that 2 minus 1 is going to give us 1, so we have here as 1, and plus 3 square root of 2 plus 5 square root of 2, since they have the same irrational component, we can add the coefficient, so that is plus 8 square root of 2. Now being multiplied by 2 plus 1 gives us 3, and we have plus, so 3 minus 5 gives us minus 2, so which means we should write minus 2 here, and we have minus 2, and then we write one of the irrational components, so minus 2. So this becomes the simplest form. But from here we are not done, we have to further multiply. Now it means that 1 is going to multiply 3 minus 2 square root of 2, so it means we have here as 1 multiplying 3 minus 2 square root of 2, and when we come here we have plus 8 square root of 2, also multiplying 3 minus 2 square root of 2. Now we are expanding, and we can see that when 1 multiplies any number, we are going to get back the number itself, so which means we are going to have minus, so 3 minus 2 square root of 2 itself, and when we come here 3 multiplies 8, or 8 multiplies 3, then we are going to get back 24, so we have 24, and then there is square root of 2, so we bring it, and then minus, so that is positive and negative multiplying, we are going to get negative, so 8 times 2, we are going to get 16, and then square root of 2 multiplying square root of 2, they are going to get square root of 4. Now at this point we can see that there is like said here, of which you can also add, so that is 3. Now minus 2 square root of 2 plus 24 square root of 2, then we are going to get positive 22 square root of 2. So that is 22 square root of 2 because they are like sets, so we added. And then we have 16 square root of 4 is going to give us 2, so we have 2. Now we have 3 and then plus 22 square root of 2. Now 16 times 2 gives us 32, so we have our 32 here. Now when we have something like this, it means that the rational component has to come first before the rational ones. So it means that we are going to have 3 minus 32 and then plus 22 minus square root of 2 by rearranging. So 3 minus 32, we are going to get minus 29 and plus 22 square root of 2. And this becomes the simplified answer for x squared plus y squared. So therefore, we can conclude by saying that therefore we can say that x squared plus y squared, oh, then it is minus rather. So we should clean and make it minus. So it's x squared minus y squared. So therefore, we can say that x squared minus y squared is equal to minus 29 plus 22 square root of 2. And this becomes our final solution. Now let's tackle the next example. In example 4, it says that given that a is equal to square root of 5 plus 2 and b is equal to square root of 5 minus 2, find a squared minus b squared. We can also see clearly that there is a difference of 2 squares here, which means this is coming from the expansion of a plus b multiplied by a minus b. Now we can put this into practice. So we have a squared minus b squared is coming from the expansion of a plus b and a minus b. So this, when we expand this, we're going to get back a squared minus b squared. So using a plus b multiplied by a minus b, then we can use that to find the value of a squared minus b squared. Now doing quick substitution here, then we have, now our a value is giving us square root of 5 plus 2. That is for a. And we have plus the b is giving us square root of 5 minus 2. Now we can put them in brackets in order not to create any confusion. So we have this in bracket and that in bracket, this in bracket and that's in bracket. That's a and b. Now this is being multiplied by, now our a here is square root of 5 plus 2 in brackets, and the b is giving us minus square root of 5 minus 2, also in another bracket. Now we are left with simplification and expansion. So it means that we have square root of 5 plus 2 and we have plus square root of 5 minus 2 written nicely as such. And then we also have the other one, square root of 5 plus 2 and minus square root of 5, because the minus is multiplying everything, so minus square root of 5. And you can see minus and minus, when they multiply, we're going to have positive 2. So this becomes the simplification. Now we continue and we can see that there is like set here. So square root of 5 being added to square root of 5. So we are going to have 2 square root of 5. That is x. So it can be x plus x. We know x plus x giving us 2x. And x times x is going to give us x squared. So let's know the difference when working problems around this. So it means that our square root of 5 plus square root of 5, we're going to get 2 square root of 5. Now you can see plus 2 and minus 2. So when plus and minus meet, definitely we are going to get 0. So plus and minus of the same number is 0. So we have 0, they cancel out. So we are left with this one. And when we come here to, we have square root of 5 and square root of 5, which means we are going to get we are going to get 0 because that is plus square root of 5 and then minus square root of 5. So that is 0. And we are left with positive 2 and positive 2. So definitely we are going to get 4. So in simplifying, then 2 times 4 gives us 8. And we are left with square root of 5. So it means that our a squared minus b squared is equal to 8 square root of 5. And that is very simple. Now let's take our last example on this topic, and we have that one as example 5 says that given s to be equal to 1 out of 2 minus square root of 3 and y to be equal to 1 out of 2 plus 2 plus 3. So y is equal to 1 out of 2 plus square root of 3. Find the value of s squared plus y squared. Now this is not difference of 2 squared. If it was to be s squared minus y squared, then we can term it as difference of 2 squares. But at this point, we have s squared plus y squared. So it is not a difference of 2 squares. So let's know that. So with this, we are going to do direct substitution to simplify. Now we have s squared plus y squared. And with this, we have our x value here to be 1 out of 2 minus square root of 3. And then s is squared, so you have to square this. And then we have plus 1 out of 2 plus square root of 3. That is for y. And we know y is squared, so we have to square it. Now, we have to simplify, and we can see that the square is going to affect the numerator and the denominator independently. So we have 1 squared divided by 2 minus square root of 3 all squared, plus you also have 1 squared divided by 2 plus square root of 3 all squared. Now you have to simplify, and this will lead to 1 squared is 1, and this 2 minus square root of 3 all squared means that 2 minus square root of 3 is being multiplied by itself twice. So it means that we have 2 minus square root of 3 multiplied by 2 minus square root of 3. And we have plus 1 squared, also known to be 1. And we have here to be now 2 plus square root of 3 all squared means that we are going to multiply 2 plus square root of 3 by itself 2 times 2 plus square root of 3. Now, at this point, we have to expand the denominators, which means we can do that by multiplying each other. So it means we have 1 divided by, so it means 2 is going to multiply 2 minus square root of 3. So we have 2 minus square root of 3, and we have square root of minus square root of 3 being multiplied by 2 minus square root of 3. And when we come here to, we have plus 1 divided by 2 multiplying 2 plus square root of 3. So 2 plus square root of 3, and we also have plus square root of 3 multiplying 2 plus square root of 3, and we close our brackets. Now the simplification continues, and we have 1. Now 2 multiplies 2, we have 4, and 2 multiplies minus square root of 3, we have minus 2 square root of 3. And we can see that minus square root of 3 multiplies 2, then we are going to have minus 2 square root of 3. And when minus and minus multiply, you're going to get positive. So square root of 3 multiplies square root of 3, then we're going to have square root of 9. That is plus 1 out of, now 2 multiplies 2, we have 4, and 2 multiplies square root of 3, we are going to have plus 2 square root of 3. And the other one continues. So square root of 3 multiplies 2, we are going to have 2 square root of 3 plus square root of 3 multiplies square root of 3, we are going to have square root of 9. Now it continues, and we have here as 1 out of, now we can see like set here, of which we can add. So we have 4 minus, so minus 2 gives us minus 4, and we write one of the sets, so square root of 3, And we know that square root of 9 gives us 3 plus 1 out of, again we can see that there is like set here, so we can add. So we have 4 plus 4 square root of 3, and we know square root of 9 to be the same thing as 3. Now it continues, and we have here as 1 out of, so 4 plus 3 gives us 7, so we have 7 minus 4 square root of 3 plus 1 out of, so 4 plus 3 also gives us 7, so we have 7 plus 4 square root of 3. Now at this point we have to find our LCM for us to simplify. So it means our LCM now becomes 7 minus 4 square root of 3 multiplied by 7 plus 4 square root of 3. Now we can see that this 7 minus 4 square root of 3 goes into 7 minus 4 square root of 3, 1, and that one we are left with 7 plus 4 square root of 3, which multiplies the numerator 1 here. We are going to get back our 7 plus 4 square root of 3. So we have 7 plus 4 square root of 3, and 7 plus 4 square root of 3 goes into 7 plus 4 square root of 3, 1, and we are left with 7 minus 4 square root of 3. Now this 7 minus 4 square root of 3 multiplies 1. We are going to get back plus 7 minus 4 square root of 3. Now, having been able to use the LCM to simplify it, then we can break it down, and we can see 7 and 7 here, so we can group like terms as such, and we have plus 4 square root of 3 and minus 4 square root of 3. Now being divided by, at this point too, we can also expand the denominator by multiplying. So that is 7 multiply 7 plus 4 square root of 3 plus 4 square root of 3, and also minus 4 square root of 3 also multiply 7 plus 4 square root of 3. At this point we can see that 7 plus 7 gives us 14. Now plus 4 square root of 3, we take away minus 4 square root of 3, and it divides. 7 times 7 gives us 49, and 7 times 4 gives us 28. We have our square root of 3 there, and we can also see again that minus 4 times 7 gives us minus 28, and we have square root of 3 there. And then we can see that minus 4 multiplies positive 4, we are going to get minus 16. So we have minus 16, and then square root of 3 multiplies square root of 3, we are going to get square root of 9. Now we continue, and we can see that 14 divided by, now we can see like set here, plus 28 square root of 3 minus 28 square root of 3. It means they are going to take off, and it will be left with 49 and minus 16. Square root of 9 is known to be 3. So if that continues, then we have here as 14 out of 49. Now 16 times 3, we get 48, and 14 divides 49 minus 48, we have 1. So at the end our answer becomes 14. So this is step-by-step procedure to the solution, and we have our final answer as such. So it implies that our x squared plus y squared is equal to 14. And this ends today's video. So thanks for watching. Kindly like, comment, subscribe, and share. See you in our next video. BakoMaths, thinking beyond infinity.